Hi, my name is Ron Bonnerger. I'm with the company that makes the GameCycle, and what I want to teach you today is how to start up the GameCycle in 5 minutes. And one of the primary tools I'm going to use is the GameCycle Quick Start Guide, and this Quick Start Guide ships with every GameCycle. So behind me is the GameCycle, and actually the first thing the Quick Start Guide says is make sure your GameCycle is turned off, which this is. And so one of the first things you want to do, and this is very quick, is make sure that this purple cable is going into this first slot at the top with a single dot, and that the memory card is inserted into the GameCube. That's essential for the GameCycle to work. The next thing we want to do is insert a game into the GameCube. So we do that by twisting this, opening it up, and then you hit the open button on the GameCube. And now we're going to walk over here and select the game. And the game that we're going to play today, because it's a great beginner game, is Racing Evolution, and this is quick started. But the GameCycle also quick starts Monster 4x4, which is a fun monster truck racing game. It also quick starts Cars, which is a fun Disney game. And then it quick starts Need for Speed Underground, which is a very popular Nintendo game. So there's 4 games that are quick started. So let's take out Racing Evolution, which is the one we're going to play today. And we're going to go ahead and insert that into the GameCube. Close the top, close this, tighten it down, and now we're ready to turn on the GameCycle, which is the next step on the Quick Start Guide. And so I'm going to come over here, and right at the bottom is an on-off switch for the GameCycle and the GameCube. For each GameCycle, you have to turn on the TV separately just by hitting the power button on the TV right here. So now we're ready to go to the front of the GameCycle and start the setup, which is done with this very simple blue touchscreen. First thing it's doing is you have to tell the GameCycle which game is in the GameCube. This is Racing Evolution is what we put in, so we touch that. It's verifying it, because if you say the wrong game, it won't work properly. So yes, it's Racing Evolution. And now Racing Evolution allows you to select an easy track, a medium track, or a hard track. We're going to do easy since it's the first time we're using the GameCycle together. Touch that. And now this is just like setting up an exercise system in an exercise facility where you select duration, resistance, and the type of workout you want to do. This is duration, so let's lower this to 5 minutes. And now you hit OK. Now the next screen is where you select resistance, but this is also a great screen where you can teach your client how to use the GameCycle and also set it up for them properly. So I'm going to show you how you can lower and raise the height of the GameCycle. Right here, push down and you lower it, you pull up this lever, and the gas assist allows it to rise. So I'm going to set this about a level that's pretty good for me. And then the other thing you can do here, because this is before we've started gameplay, is you can teach your client how to use the cranks of the GameCycle. And this is the speed, and then this is a left-hand turn, and then this is a right-hand turn. And you want to turn and crank at the same time, just like I'm doing. Some of your clients, and you'll see this, and this is fine in the beginning, they stop when they want to turn, and then they start cranking again. But you always want to encourage them to eventually try to crank and turn at the same time. So we can select our resistance before we finish here just by hitting this button, and we're going to just set it right at 4. And then we hit, actually went to 5, which is fine. Now we'll hit OK. And now, again, you're picturing the exercise system. You can select manual, which is straight resistance, interval, where resistance goes up and down, and hill, where resistance increases over time. We're just going to select manual. And now the GameCycle is automatically starting up the Nintendo GameCube for you. So instead of you having to pick the type of driver, the type of track, the type of car you're going to have, we're doing all of that automatically through our Quick Start feature for the GameCycle. So when this finishes its startup, what you're going to see is a car sitting on the track. It's kind of a cool white car, actually, that you're going to be able to start racing when the ready sign above the white car goes away. And once we start doing that, you'll be cranking and steering the GameCycle, and I'll also show you a few other features that the GameCycle has. So you can see right here that the GameCycle is basically finishing the setup automatically on the screen right here. Here it's selecting the track automatically for you. And now it's loading the game, and pretty soon you're going to see this white car. You're going to see the ready sign appear above the car, and when that goes away, I start cranking. And there you go, and that's our 5-minute startup. I'm controlling that car. Here's a left-hand turn to emphasize it. Here's a right-hand turn, and now I'm back on the track and turning. I want to show you another feature of the GameCycle, which is this forward button right here. If I hit this, you'll see it goes to reverse. And now, when I crank the GameCycle going backwards with my arms, backwards cranking, the car is actually going forward. So this is different cognitively, and it's also different where it's working different muscles in your back. Another feature of the GameCycle, I'm going to have it go forward again, but another one is that we can adjust resistance while the person's cranking just by hitting that. Now the resistance screen comes up. Let's set it back to 4, which is where we wanted it before. You hit OK, and then you just go back to cranking. And if you were a therapist working with someone else, they could have been cranking the whole time while you adjusted that resistance. So there you go, a few features of the GameCycle, and within 5 minutes you're able to get your client using the GameCycle and enjoying its benefits and having fun while they're doing it. Thanks for listening.